In today's episode, a horror movie. Ukrainians want to see Putin as their president. Destruction of the Ukrainian army. The leadership of the Ukrainian Armed Forces is sending elite units to clear territories of mines with their own bodies. Kremlin propaganda exploits vulnerable groups of people who need medical care. Local authorities in the Kherson region have been ignoring the issue of vaccination for years. Our analytical team at Detector Media is on constant watch, tracking the spread of the boldest fakes from Kremlin propaganda. I'm Vadym Miskyi, and for the next 10 minutes I'll guide you through the key facts. Let's get started. A horror movie. Ukrainians want to see Putin as their president. This manipulative claim was circulated by the Russian media, quoting a spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry.
Они ненавидят, внешне ненавидят и очень агрессивны в отношении Путина, ровно потому, что они хотели бы, чтобы Путин был у них президентом.
It doesn't even take that many arguments to refute Zakharova's insane assumption. Just think of the constant shelling of Ukrainian homes by Russians.
Ви в цьому будинку живете?
Так, в квартирі, де найбільша дирка, і наступна квартира, де є балкон.
Ви прям там були?
В квартирі була вдома, почула перший взрив, пішла в ванну. Якби не зайшла в ванну, вже б мене не було.
Дорогі українці, українки, сьогодні о 7 вечора завершена рятувальна операція в Кривому Розі на місці удару російських ракет. Це були 2 ракети «Іскандер», балістичні ракети проти житлового будинку. В одному під'їзді зруйновані поверхи з 4 по 9, просто проти цивільних людей, звичайних людей, проти дітей. Це тероризм, який ніхто в світі не назве інакше. Станом на цей час відомо про 6 загиблих, серед них дитина, дівчинка, її звали Дар'я. Їй було лише 10 років. Разом з нею загинула її мама, її звали Наталія. Звичайна родина в звичайному місці, чиє життя було знищене російськими вбивцями. Мої співчуття усім, хто втратив рідних і близьких.
82% of Ukrainian citizens definitely consider Putin to be a modern-day Hitler. This is according to a poll conducted by the Razumkov Center in cooperation with the Democratic Initiatives Foundation. 89% of Ukrainians in the west of the country, 78% in the east and 73% in the south fully agree with this statement. The figure for the center of the country is 81%. Only 1% of Ukrainians strongly disagree with this statement. The leadership of the Ukrainian Armed Forces is sending elite units to demine fields with their own bodies. This fake has been spread by Kremlin propagandists. They demonstrate a video showing Ukrainian soldier claiming that this is how they are supposedly solving the landmine clearing problem.
На жаль, ми своїми, можна сказати, ногами розміновуємо ці поля, тому що для саперів там немає такої можливості, щоб прочистити нам напрямок, по якому ми двигаємося.
The fake was investigated by analysts of the VoxCheck project. They found out that the propagandists used only a fragment of the Radio Liberty story. The video shows a fighter of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade with the call sign Frenchman. In the original video, he explained that the Russians have mined the fields heavily, which is slowing down the advance. Sappers cannot clear these frontline areas, so the soldiers have to do it on their own. However, there is a catch. The strong armor of Western equipment protects the soldiers from injury when they are hit by shells or run into anti-tank mines. That is why the counteroffensive has been somewhat slow. After all, the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Valery Zaluzhny, is trying to keep every soldier intact. He doesn't send soldiers like the Soviet Marshal Zhukov used to do to clear the area of mines with their own bodies. According to the government of Ukraine, Western partners are ready to provide $244 million for humanitarian demining.
At the OSCE, we are focused on what we are able to do on the ground. As I mentioned, the new support program for Ukraine will engage in activities like humanitarian demining, which is essential for farmers to be able to go back and cultivate their land in the future, given the extent of mines that have been placed, unexploded ordnance, and other munitions that Russia has essentially deployed into Ukraine. It's an area, if you think about it geographically, that is twice the size of the country of Austria. We're talking about an enormous area that has been mined and that has unexploded ordnance. And so for the sake of Ukrainian agriculture going forward, it's going to take a concerted effort, not just from the OSCE, but from numerous international actors. USAID is very much involved in this space as well, to demine this land. And of course, the ultimate objective is to allow Ukraine to prevail, because as long as this war continues, Russia will continue to hinder, it will continue to bomb Ukrainian cities and towns, and it will continue to contaminate this land.
Ukraine expects to receive demining equipment from its allies.
We are definitely interested in receiving ATACMS missiles, but I also have, for the sake of clarity and justice, I have to say that we are receiving long-range missiles already from other countries, such as the United Kingdom and France. So this is not the item that we do not have in our possession. We need more, but in principle, we have it. While it is critically important now to provide Ukraine with more demining vehicles and instruments, because the Ukrainian army is conducting its counteroffensive through heavily mined fields. So yes, this is a very topical need. F-16s, well, it's solved. It takes time. We're in the process, but this deal is done, and we will keep working on ATACMS missiles. But we understand the logic of Washington on this matter.
Such Kremlin propaganda fakes only reveal an effort to discredit Ukraine's top military leadership. Kremlin propaganda is spreading a video of people in uniforms taking away a German family's valuables and saying, "Heil Zelensky." This video was allegedly made by the Alternative for Germany party. This is a fake.
Heil Zelensky!
The case was investigated by fact-checkers from the Center for Strategic Communications of Ukraine. They found out that the video is not available on the website of the Alternative for Germany party. It is not mentioned in the German press, and the video is only widely circulated in pro-Kremlin media. Radio Liberty journalists found out that this video features Russian actors. Russian propaganda is actively pushing the idea that the West is tired of war.
Вчера показывали такого же политолога, который поддерживает поставки, больше того, со звериным оскалом рассказывает о том, что нужно наращивать и милитаризовывать Украину. Какова распространенность подобной позиции?
Очень невелика, Сергей Сергеевич. Я не устаю повторять, что от 35 до 45% немцев ни в коей мере не приемлят поставку немецкого оружия на Украину, какого бы то ни было подливания немецкого масла в горнило братоубийственной войны.
Meanwhile, the German government's website announced a new military aid package. Germany is providing Ukraine with equipment worth 5.4 billion euros. In particular, it includes Gepard anti-aircraft systems and ammunition, recon drones and ambulances. Propagandists systematically exploit the topic of socially vulnerable groups, in particular those in need of medical care. For example, the fake they are actively promoting claims that local authorities in the Kherson region have supposedly been ignoring vaccination for years. After blowing up the dam, which resulted in the flooding of cemeteries in Suez, the occupation authorities became concerned about the health of people affected. The invaders delicately mentioned the threat of hepatitis and typhoid, although it would have been more reasonable to be concerned about cholera and anthrax. It would have been even more reasonable if they had not committed terrorist attacks on infrastructure, although reason and Russians are quite at odds with each other.
И надо помнить, что вакцинация является наиболее эффективным и безопасным мероприятием для профилактики, в том числе кишечных инфекций, гепатита А, брюшного типа и шагеллезов. И крайне важно это понимать и не отказываться от вакцинации и проходить ее.
The invaders would have done a lot more to promote health recovery in the Kherson region if they had not been systematically shelling civilians. On August 1st, Russian troops once again shelled residential areas of Kherson. They hit a medical facility, killing a doctor and injuring a nurse. Russia will answer for all its crimes. Stay with us so you never fall prey to Kremlin propaganda. Ukraine will win. We are grateful to our Western partners.